Token Metrics is a cryptocurrency investment platform that helps users leverage machine learning to become better crypto investors. Our in-depth analysis helps eliminate the emotions of investing, find profitable investment opportunities, and filters out scams. Learn more at tokenmetrics.com.
We are live. Welcome to the Token Metrics Market Update Show. I'm your host, Bill Noble. If you need a roadmap in crypto and you need to make money in this highly volatile market, then subscribe to this channel. Turn on the alerts bell so you know when we're going live. And if you like the content, please give us a like and a thumbs up. All right. This is brought to you by tokenmetrics.com, right? The best place to get research done by machines and humans. Let's just see who's on the stream this afternoon. So we have Tommy D, Elijah, what's up? Crypto Cruz. We have Florida in the house. Nikki, welcome. We have Elijah from Algeria, the Caribbean. All right. We have London, India, up late at night. All right. Dean, thank you. I will give you my best. California, Nigeria, Baltimore. Welcome to the show. All right. Columbus, Ohio, giving me some love, along with the Dominican Republic. Estonia, Bangladesh. Marco, appreciate you out there in Eastern Europe. All right. We have Spain, Madrid. Shouts out to Ontario, along with Montreal. Welcome to our friends from Canada. Barcelona in the house. Washington, D.C. So, people, is this market volatile enough for you or what? Right? It's so volatile that I got to go back and watch my own videos and go, God, what did I say yesterday? I hope that was right. Like, no joke. All right. So let's just kick right into the market update. All right. So let's go over a weekend battle plan for crypto. Let's have a brief discussion about what I got right and what I got not so right, and then how can we use that going forward. All right. So the first thing I got hopefully right was to suggest that total crypto market cap and Bitcoin was kind of a buy, or there was a lot of support in like Phantoms and Maddox yesterday, and that you shouldn't sell your crypto. You should think about a bounce right now. Of course, this bounce turned out to be huge. So let's dive into that. Let's start out with stonks. Unbelievable. From down 3% to up 3%. I don't think that's been seen since the bottom in November of the temporary bottom in November of 2008. So let's consolidate all of the indicators. You know, we're not going to do oil and wheat, although it is awesome that oil came off, right? Basically, the U.S. government decided to not cut the Russians out of the U.S. dollar payment system. And I actually think that's the right thing to do, right? Weaponizing the dollar is not the right thing to do. If you're going to fight the Russians, find a better way to do it. So equities, after seeing that, realized oil's not going to go to the moon, at least right now. So stocks went up. Starting with QQQ, which is what I got wrong. All right. Technology stocks, Web 2 rallied, and I'm showing resistance in QQQ around 345 or 360. Really interested to see how it closes, right? A lot of FOMO, a lot of put selling, a lot of short covering. So in Qs, watch 345. Okay, SPY, S&P 500 ETF, 435 is the level to watch. You know, as we discussed yesterday, there was a DeMark 9 bottom. What does a DeMark 9 bottom do? Well, it leads to a counter trend rally. So the market will go down, it'll hit the 9 bottom, and then it'll either go back up to the top of the range, or at worst, right, it'll bounce, stop, and then the trend will resume. Okay, the level I'm looking at to see whether or not that's going to happen is 435 or, like 4350 in the S&P. All right, so there's a lot of people who think everything is okay in stocks. All right, I'm wondering if that's the right thing to do. Now let's talk about crypto. Total crypto market cap, we discussed yesterday. So that was the first chart. And thank God I got that right. Didn't have everybody selling or get all bearish into the bottom. Right now, total crypto market cap has rallied. And where has it rallied to? 1.73 trillion, according to the symbol total on TradingView. Based on my work, that level is resistance, and that trend following moving average system, the Williams alligator, that's the green, red, and blue lines that help you look at momentum from intraday to daily charts, okay, with using moving averages without having to change charts. So it's telling you where momentum is. And right now, crypto as a whole seems to have momentum still pointing down, with crypto as a whole at resistance. So if you were like, jumping out of a window or thinking about jumping out of a window yesterday, in quotes, right? You were really upset. Please, nobody do that. But if you were really upset yesterday, you have to ask yourself, with the market rallying, is now the time to reduce risk in case it goes down again? Now let's talk about Bitcoin. This is the Bitcoin futures contract. So I had to redraw a few things here. I can make an argument for Bitcoin to go into like a consolidation phase, right? I think if Bitcoin finds resistance at 39,200, then there's an argument that Bitcoin could turn around and go lower, right? Perhaps to 32K. Why would Bitcoin go lower? Well, there's a couple of examples. There's the Canadian trucking situation where people tried to freeze Bitcoin. And now we just covered on our podcast that Ukrainian soldiers have received like $400,000 in Bitcoin to buy supplies. Now, I'm not here to comment on who the good guys are or who the bad guys are in any situation, but if people are using crypto to get around cyber attacks or, get around somebody who wants to try to stop them, whether it's the Canadian government or the Russians or the Chinese, okay, that means somebody could take a shot at crypto on the tape. Regulators could start saying that, people are using crypto to evade sanctions, or people are using crypto to evade whatever it is we're trying to stop them from doing. All right. So you have to be careful of what I call the tape bomb. Don't forget the CPI inflation number and the Fed looms in March. So I don't want to be all down in the mouth, but I didn't want to be bearish at 34,000, and I'm not really in the mood to be super bullish at 39,000. It just seems like it's trading wildly, and if it's really a bear market, then you sell rallies like this that are really emotional. Okay, now, if I'm wrong, okay, then Bitcoin's probably either going to 42 or 49. This is like you have to trade this market level by level. But if you were really upset yesterday, you have to ask yourself, now that my P&L is probably improved by 10%, do I need to make an adjustment? Okay, this is Bitcoin in the actual crypto markets showing 39,400 as resistance. So if Bitcoin does not get above 39,400, right, it could turn around and go lower. Now, for scenarios, my guess would be people are going to be hesitant over the weekend. And then if nothing happens over the weekend, then we're going to walk in Monday and everybody's going to be like, hey, everything is okay, right? Now, that's either a selling opportunity or that's the breakout, right? My guess is any FOMO at this level is probably a selling opportunity, right? You didn't want to sell it at 34. I don't think you want to buy it at 39, but we'll see. Okay, this is looking at Tom DeMark's work, right, on Bitcoin on a very short-term basis. So I can't quite get my 89-minute chart, but a 90-minute charts close enough. And lo and behold, that system with its automated support and resistance mechanisms, right, which comes from the quant work of Tom DeMark, shows resistance at 39,000 and change. So what am I doing here? I'm trying to find validation. Like if I give you a level, that's hopefully good for 2 days, right? So if it's below it, it's going to go down. If it's above it, it's okay, right? I want to check that level in multiple places. Okay, let's look at Ethereum. 2706, very big level in Ethereum. If 2706 acts as resistance, Ethereum could turn lower, especially as I understand it. The floor price of major NFTs is also rolling over. So you could have NFT hedging start to come into Ethereum, right? And the FOMO this morning looked just that. It looked as good on the upside as it looked bad yesterday, right? You know, don't sell at the bottom. Don't sell at support. Sell at resistance. Okay, again, in Ethereum, 2731 on the DeMark indicators, right? That's resistance. I believe that might have been close to the high this morning. This recorded February 25th, Friday. Okay, let's talk Avalanche. Is Avalanche still in a downtrend? Well, it seems to be, right? Awesome that it bounced off 65, okay? Went to 70-something, 77, which we had as resistance. I'm showing the new major resistance at 82. So I guess if we're going full breakout, you know, AVAX could go to 82 and beyond. However, AVAX is running into resistance in the form of these moving averages, right? And I don't know that I would be paying up in a coin that has outperformed, right? In other words, you never had the type of selling in Avalanche that you had in other coins. So I'm really hesitant, and I'm really sort of imploring you to ask yourself, okay, we like Avalanche. We know Avalanche is a good coin, but do you want to buy Avalanche on a big up day, or do you want to buy it when it's down? Like 65 made sense. Maybe you take profits at 77. Or you have it at 65 and you just put your stop down there. So if it goes back down, you scratch the trade, or if it goes up, you can let it run. Okay, but if you had no position in Avalanche, would you be buying it right now? I don't think so. Not investment advice. Now, if it breaks out, hey, folks, I work for a crypto company, so we'll go with it, right? But I don't want you to get hosed. Now, again, there may be one more rally on Monday, right? Everyone's like, ooh, afraid of the weekend. And then everybody may come in Monday all wound up and happy. You know, that feels too emotional to me. Okay. Decentraland, I'm looking at 268 for Metaverse, 268 as a key level. Solana, I'm looking at 90. So, you know, Solana did the big new low, scared everybody. Now the question is, does Solana have enough juice to take out 90? Okay, to take out 90. All right. If Solana can't take out 90, then you really, really got to ask yourself, right? Do I want to get out of Solana? Right. Yesterday, I told you not to sell Solana at 81 because there was support there. All right. If Solana cannot get above 90, then I think, seriously, not investment advice, you have to consider heading for the door, especially if there's one final like euphoric FOMO rally on Monday. The question with all these levels isn't can they get above it? Of course they can wick above everything. As soon as I mention it, you know, 4,500 people look at it. So of course they can wick through a level, but can they stay above it? All right. That's key going into Monday. Now let's look at some altcoins that look okay, because this is an altcoin show. All right. Matic made this huge, ugly new low. I think the return of DeFi, from what I've read on my smartest DeFi analyst on Twitter, okay, he thinks layer twos could be the future of DeFi. And interesting, you had this huge doji candlestick yesterday in Matic, right? All the way down, all the way back to close at the same level. Now, just about every market did that yesterday, right? But, Matic was at, 3 in December, 245 in mid-January, and now it's kind of down at 150. So if there is a value investing play, in other words, if you say to yourself, Bill, I cannot control myself. I have got to get long something. Like the FOMO is just, I don't know. I tried to do 10 push-ups. It didn't work. I got to buy something. All right. So I don't think I'd be doing Bitcoin at 39K. I think I'd be doing Matic at 150, not investment advice, right? You could put your stop, 10 or 15 cents below that, and if the whole market breaks out, Matic may have been a long-term buy at that level. Now, Luna. So I don't think I'm going to get very far telling people not to FOMO into Luna. I know there's resistance at 65. Luna seems to be trying to get through that. Now, let's just pretend that the market goes into FOMO mode. Let's just say that, 34K was the bottom and that all this geopolitical stuff is overrated as a negative catalyst, and we're just going to buy everything and be wild men and wild women. Okay, 87 is where Luna has resistance. Let's put it that way. So if Luna decides to go on an uptrend, like that's a level to consider, right? Now, I would not be buying strength here in big coins like this, but this is destroyed. It's kind of like Matic. I mean, would I do it? No. But would I blame somebody if they wanted to jump on this? Honestly, no. So if we got to be positive on some altcoins, that might be one. Perhaps the best looking one from a DeMark point of view is Near. There's a lot of support at 734, around $8. Near bottom down here a couple of times, and there is a lot of DeMark 13 signals. 13 signals mean what exactly? 13 signals tell you that, a certain set of conditions, right? The down move in this case, a certain set of conditions appeared until Near exhausted itself. So a 13 doesn't mean an automatic bottom. It can mean a bottom for a day or two or a week, but it can lead to long-term bottoms, particularly since Near really puked it out and really flushed everybody out yesterday. So if you look at, the Luna, that would be the momentum play, and the Near or the Matic, they would be the value play. If you must FOMO, all right, I would do the value investing in those type of projects. Sandbox in the metaverse, I would look at it if it took out 325. Sandbox has both the 13 and the 9 bottom together. What does that mean? Well, that's kind of like a sort of like a two-ply support point. Think of it that way, right? So if Sandbox rallies, it could rally a lot. You would look at 325 to see if that happens. Now, if you get that really strong signal and Sandbox doesn't rally, then I'm almost at the point where I'm willing to de-risk the whole metaverse. I don't want to get all down in the mouth because I'm trying to give you altcoins that at least have some hope, because that's what we need on the show, right? Some hope. Okay. So no FOMO into stuff that I don't know. Bitcoin, Ethereum, Avalanche. I don't think I'd FOMO into that. Some of this stuff that's down, if you want to add to it, or if you didn't have a position or you want to try, that's fine. But just remember, I don't think anything good is going to happen in March, honestly. And I think the fact that everyone just covered their shorts in legacy, even though oil was down, scares me, right? The smartest geopolitical analyst that I know, okay, his name's George Friedman. All right. I mean, he literally is the smartest guy in his business. I was shocked on his site, Geopolitical Futures, that he actually wrote an apology. The last line is he says, "I'm sorry because I thought the Russians were using this troop buildup for a political end." Right? They were trying to send a political message, and maybe they were going to do something in Eastern Ukraine. All right. So if the smartest guy in the business missed a colossal Russian invasion, can you imagine what other surprises Mr. Putin may have? Like, for example, his site, which is like an intelligence service in a way. I mean, they got Russian helicopters on a river in the Ukraine that's right next to the Romanian border. What do the Russians need helicopters for on the Romanian border? So don't doubt that Mr. Putin, isn't got more shock and awe up his sleeve. So I mentioned George Friedman. George, if you're watching this, or if anybody from Geopolitical Futures are watching this, we love you. As a guy who's on TV every day, right, I can appreciate how hard it is to see the future, all right? But you have to remember, if the smartest guys in the world got caught off guard by Putin, assuming that Putin doesn't have any more tricks up his sleeve seems unwise, all right? So we will see what happens next week, but I would prefer to have my readership safe, right, rather than sorry. I don't want you to sell support and buy resistance. I want it to be the opposite. All right, let's go to the chat and see what we got here. All right. Undoubtedly, we're going to have some requests. So let me get pen and paper for that. Okay, Spin says, it's also a diversion for China. Never forget that the Chinese and the Russians work together. Matter of fact, today in Token Metrics' newsletter, remember I talk about the analysis done by humans. We actually ran a piece, okay, with sort of an analyst that has military experience about the China-Taiwan shoe that could drop. In other words, maybe it's not Mr. Putin that has something up his sleeve. Maybe the Chinese are going to move on Taiwan. I know, scary, right? What we need is more problems. We don't need more problems, but we also don't need to get caught with our pants down. Right. If Bitcoin's at 40K, right, 40K is still a very high price if you need to raise cash for, March Madness and sell in May and go away. All right. All right. I'm copying down some of this stuff. Somebody asking for helium, flow. Okay. What stable coins are safe? Okay. I can't provide investment advice. Our guys usually say that, Coinbase and USDC is one option. And then Luna has a stable coin, UST. Can't really comment on what's best and what's not best. I would just stay with something that's connected to either a really strong project or a really strong exchange. Okay. Hello from your neighbors in South Texas. Welcome, South Texas. Okay. Somebody's asking for Rose because I did Matic. I can do Rose. I will do my best. Okay. Looks like comments are flying here. We appreciate it. I did look at Cosmos. Okay. Nochi, I did look at Cosmos. I would describe the outlook as neutral, right? It doesn't look good and it doesn't look terrible, which, considering what's going on here, right? That's pretty good. Okay, Christian says, just like COVID, the conflict will last longer than we think. Unfortunately, prayers to all involved. Yes, right. I wish there was something that I could do to help people affected by this, right? All I can do is give you the best analysis that I can. All right. All right. All right. So we have other people commenting on the geopolitical situation. I definitely appreciate that, right? One guy says, the Russians actually haven't gone all out yet, and this is NATO's fault to begin with, right? So on this show, we like to be balanced. We like to be balanced. So if Putin has done what he needed to do and it's over, you'll know that by watching equities. Hello from Paris, looking to buy more metaverse coins. All right. FOMO into Phantom. Phantom did hold support yesterday, right? And I actually looked at Phantom today. I couldn't find anything one way or the other, but I couldn't find anything bearish about Phantom, right? I don't know if that means you should FOMO in after a rally, but if I was holding Phantom, I might be encouraged by that. All right. So yes, we looked at Cardano, and I think I said Cardano at 75 cents. Don't sell it. There was support there. So let's see if we can figure some of this stuff out. People want some serious freestyle TA here. I'll tell you what, folks. I know it's my job, but I don't think freestyle TA gets any harder than on days like today where it's swinging 1% at a time. Okay, so let's just begin. Let's just start doing the best I can here. Oh, by the way, folks, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. I know we've been so busy working here that I haven't had time to tell you how much I appreciate you watching this video live or watching the recordings. Definitely appreciate y'all out there. If you can give us a like on that like button, if you can hit that for me, that allows us to get this content out to more people. Okay, so here's Cosmos, right? Cosmos doesn't look good and Cosmos doesn't look bad. Okay, let's try a redraw on Cosmos here and see what I can get that's maybe a little bit more definitive. Okay, let's try one more time. Da-da. Okay, that does not seem to be working right. Okay, the bottom line is this. When you have Cosmos coming back to this moving average system, okay, right here, every time it's gone there, it's basically failed, right? And Cosmos is back again right there, yesterday, in fact. So while Cosmos is green today, if you look at Cosmos on Monday and it fails, you better ask yourself, can I handle more downside? But honestly, Cosmos does not look bad one way or the other. Let's take a look at Rose. All right, so we looked at this a lot yesterday. Rose broke down and came back, but the big question is, let's go to the 8-hour chart. All right. So this does not look totally terrible, okay? But there's resistance, right? In other words, if you zoom in on this, right, and you look at it closely, so this is Rose 8-hour for anybody watching the video. Now, things can change over the weekend, but when you get a rally, right, let's just see what percent Rose rallied. So you got a 20% rally in Rose, a 22% rally off the lows in Rose. You got a 20% rally, you came to a resistance point, and then look what happens when you get here. Now, look, folks, I get that you like this coin. I get that people like stuff. But if you had sold Rose the last time it tested this moving average at 26, you could have bought it back at 19, or you could have saved yourself if you walk in on Monday, right? I think when you look at this, this is how I would approach Rose and probably every other thing we're going to look at today. Okay, it's at resistance, but I like my coin. Okay. You walk in on Monday and you see a rally that fails, then you got to exit. You don't have to exit because it's not investment advice. All right. You want to give it 3 or 4 more days, that's cool. Right. But don't get a 20 or 30% rally and stare at it and not act with all the stuff that could be coming in March and later in the year. Okay. I know somebody was asking for Engine Coin yesterday. Okay, maybe I got that in the metaverse list. Okay. Look at Engine Coin. Okay, here's the 8-hour chart of Engine. All right, so let's take a look at what we're seeing here. Now, in a way, Engine Coin was very, very oversold after yesterday's down move, right? So I totally understand why it went from 1.2 back up here. Okay, so let's label this. This is ENJ 8 hours. Okay, now from what I understood about this theory, which, I kind of stay awake at night learning about, this level at 136, okay, this like certain Fibonacci extension level, it's the 50% level from that structure that I drew. Sometimes what I've read is, when you have a song and dance around that level, okay, that if it goes back down, okay, it can hit its target, which is unspeakably low, right? It's like, I don't know, 50 cents. So this is not a call in Engine Coin for 50 cents. It's a call for common sense, right? Because every time Engine Coin goes to this moving average system, right, it fails. So if you're asking yourself, can I tolerate more pain? The answer is yes. Okay. If you walk in Monday and there's a failed rally, then you need to think about whether or not you want to stick around in this particular coin. If it goes below 136, you definitely don't. If it's above 136, you can hang out. You can use these levels when you're watching the video later as pivots, right? You may be looking at this video on Sunday or Monday morning, right? So where's Engine Coin? Is it above, or any of these coins? Is it above or below the key pivots that I'm trying to draw for you? Okay, crypto.com. Okay, let's pull that up and see what we can draw there. Okay, again, like, staggering volatility. I guess the good news for crypto.com is this area here could indicate like neutral. Like crypto.com could be moving into neutral territory, meaning, it's not good, but it's not terrible. So let's take a look at what we have here in this world of hidden pivots. So I have 41 cents for crypto.com. Crypto.com hangs out above 41 cents. You're probably going to see it go back to 47 cents. Right? Drawing these things in crypto is really interesting and can be difficult and is a little bit harder to do on the fly. But if I had to give you a level for the weekend to watch from now to Monday, it's 41 cents in crypto.com. Somebody's also asking for the graph. That's next. Okay, somebody was asking or commenting that some of the charts look similar. Yeah, they do, right? Because this hidden pivot system is working, it works different ways than others. Okay, that's SHIB. Okay, we're not looking at SHIB. Trying to look at the graph. Okay, this looks a lot like total capitulation to me. And let's see if I'm right. Okay, so it's not total capitulation, but the graph came down to a big support point at 33 cents. So here's how I would do the graph. I mean, if it's holding 33 cents, it's okay, right? If it's not okay, right, it'll be below 33 cents. Just keep in mind, every time this thing has gone to its moving average system, which again, you're hearing for like the fourth time, right? Every time you see it attack that moving average system, it fails. It fails, right? In other words, in bear markets, right? In down markets, particularly when you have like negative catalyst and negative catalyst on the horizon, is you get these massive rallies that suck everybody in, make everybody think it's okay, and then it's not. Okay, let me just label this for anybody watching the video later. All right, so I'm just going to keep going, okay? Okay, we got somebody asking for Elrond. Okay, I'm looking for Elrond. Okay, so Elrond did hit a big Gann point at 70 cents. Got to, you know, some of these coins are so beat up. You know, it honestly, it is hard not to like them given how beat up they are. Okay, now just in case anybody's wondering what's going on here, just so I can label it. Normally, this system for hidden pivots, what you're looking for is some sort of corrective phase in a trend. And you use that to try to identify where the trend began. The more outside the box your thinking is, the better you do. Okay, that's sort of what I'm told from the theory. So I'm just testing stuff out here to see where, if anywhere, I can calculate support or resistance. Okay, so here's something outside the box in Elrond. All right, it looks like 70 cents was decent support. It's not perfect support, right? It's not like, oh, it's definitely over like it was in Phantom the other day. But down here at Elrond at 70 cents, it could be a value investing candidate. It could be, right? Now, since I know y'all don't want to look at the absolute same chart every time, let's see if I can get Elrond pulled up on the DeMark system. Okay, I'm pulling it up now. Okay. So when it comes to Elrond, right? You know, with this 13 bottom in place and this monster puke yesterday, honestly, it's hard to be negative Elrond at these levels. It's almost like you want to add Elrond to Near and Matic. Say, okay, if I had to do something, you know, what could I do? All right. Let's see what else we can put in here. Let's see if perp shows up. Just to give you some variety. All right, now perp is also interesting, right? I mean, When perp gets destroyed, right? I swear to God. I mean, perp was at what, 18 or 15 back in November. Okay. Now, if you look at this, right, let's just take the 9 bottom out of the way. Okay. DeMarc's work allows you to count Elliott waves. And you see down there where you have the 5, that's indicating that, perp has gone through this huge down move, right? Here was the end of the 3 wave over here, right? If you can see my mouse moving. Here's the 4 wave up here. And then here is the final puke there. So again, think about it. Algorand, perp, right? Near Matic. It doesn't look terrible. It doesn't look awesome. But if you wanted to be long, there's the possibility of doing some value investing there. Personally, I would wait to see if Monday's rally holds before I did anything. Okay, let's take a look at Elrond, because I know there's a huge list. The problem with this particular system for television all right, so in Elrond, I'm looking at $1.38. I'm sorry, $1.38. I'm looking at 138 as being support. So I think with Elrond, it's pretty simple. If you're above 138, Elrond is okay because you've got this double 9 bottom, right? In other words, this is not like TradingView. I can't write on the charts. But you can see in the bottom right-hand corner, there's that double 9 bottom, and there's that double 9 top from 2 different ways that the DeMarc indicators are generated. All right. So Elrond down here. In other words, there's kind of a theme developing, right, that I'm doing on TV with y'all live. That, Bitcoin, Ethereum, some of these big coins, I don't think so. Right. But if I had to do value investing, this is where I do it. Now, of course, be careful, right, that when you see these 9 bottoms, you can get that counter trend rally. Right? A 9 bottom, a 9 top up here meant to top, right? It goes in a range because that's what Elrond's been doing. Elrond's been flying around in a range between 220 and 110, right? And every time you see the 9 bottom, you fly around in the range. Okay. So if everything's going up on Monday and Bitcoin's at 42K when we walk in and it's on its way to 49, well, then you go after your Elronds, right? Let's see what this gives us for helium. All right, David Holmes from Waco is in the house. Brandon's asking for SNX. I will get to that. Let's see what this system gives us for helium. Okay, so interestingly, helium is not giving us much of a signal either way. Although the fact that it made a new low, okay, gives us that signal, that 5th wave signal. So you had the top of the 4 at 32, and you had helium around 20. Really difficult to get bearish helium at these levels, right? And I know there's a lot of people online saying, Bitcoin is no good because of geopolitics. Let's buy altcoins. Okay, that might work this weekend. That might work up until Monday. Okay, but don't get too cute. Okay. Bill, you mentioned yesterday that value investors might be better off in May. How much lower do you expect altcoins to fall? All right, so this is a good question. So there's a difference between my overall outlook and what I believe can happen, big picture. So no one will watch the show if all I do is sit here and be negative. Okay. So I don't want to do that. I don't want to sit here and be negative. What I am saying is for value investing now, it's for a trade. It's not even value investing. It's like trading in beat up altcoins. I should say it that way. Value investing, the stuff that you want to tuck away and just leave it, right? That you want to buy when the market's totally destroyed, and the market is far from that right now. I think that's later in the year. So I think you're going to get much lower prices. Now, speaking of eventually getting much lower prices, there's Bitcoin failing at 39,400. It's kind of a new feature on the stream where we do this like live market check-in halfway through or at the end of the top of the hour, right? There's Ethereum coming off, and somebody was asking for SNX. So let's jump in and do that and go right back to requests. So SNX mercilessly beat up. Mercilessly. God. Sometimes I just can't believe that some of these ETH-based DeFi coins could trade that badly. But the market is doing what the market is doing. All right. So again, at the risk of becoming a broken record, okay, synthetics, this is the 8-hour chart. And what's it doing? Right? Right there. Now, you got to remember, okay, the exact same pattern. These are called the hidden pivots, right? Look what happened here, right? It broke down and then it came back to the point and then it fell apart. So it breaks down here and synthetics has actually come back twice, right? This level is 406. So if synthetics is good, it'll blast through 406. If it doesn't blast through 406, then it scares me as to what could happen, right? So I don't know, right, given how this is traded, that I'd be FOMOing into this. Now, just for the sake of being thorough, let's check SNX on the other system to see, I don't know, if anything confirms that at all, right? In other words, I want you to try to get more than one view. Now, the catch with more than one view is that you can get more than one signal. All right, so SNX does look like a 5-wave, right? It just puked everything out, but I don't see any DeMark signals one way or the other on this bottom, right? A totally incredible bottom, totally incredible candlestick, right? And if synthetics does go up, it'll probably go to 480. Okay, so just because it looks like a bottom doesn't mean it is, right? When you get these big candlesticks, right, they look awesome, right? Like, tell me this candlestick in synthetics right here doesn't look awesome. It does. But the big question with all those candlesticks is, do you get follow through buying? Do buyers come in and say, okay, yeah, I want to buy it? So on that note, let's go look at what our friends in equities are doing. Okay, so this is SPY. So stocks are still up, so that's good for crypto. Let's look at a 90-minute chart of S&P. All right. Yeah, it's approaching resistance, and I know these graphs are complicated, but, stocks are still in FOMO mode with crypto coming off. Oh, what's Cardano saying on DeMark? Well, let's check Cardano. Oh. Okay, let's go to a daily chart and let's see what Cardano's got on DeMark. Okay, so as we said yesterday, this confirms really the read we had yesterday. Cardano at 75 cents. DeMark showed support in Cardano at 68. Okay, so with DeMark coming, I don't know, with support at 68, the candle stopped at 75 and reversed. So if Cardano goes back up, it'll go to $1.11. Now, as with all these coins, I will just remind you, a reversal is not a reversal until you get people willing to come in and pay higher prices. Right now, as nauseating as it is, the only thing people are willing to come in and pay higher prices on is stocks, right? All right, so let's see what else we got on the list. Somebody was asking about Audius. Okay, you know, it is really, really hard in these small altcoins to get a read in a market like this. You know, I know a lot of guys are just saying, hey, you know, we're just focusing on BTC and ETH, try to give you as much help as we can. All right. So a lot of times when we draw this BC, if you're wondering what I'm doing here, the best place to draw the A, okay, is on a single spike candle, which is right here. All right. So that's our A for the hidden pivot system. Now, I know you all maybe you like the DeMark work better because it has a better outlook for the cryptos. But folks, look, you have an 8-hour chart here. All right. This moving average system is the mouth is wide open, right? When you had that wide open spaces thing going on right there, this did not turn out good. And I do not want to sell Audius below $1. I look at this, I'm like, oh my God, it's so cheap, it's ridiculous. But again, look what happened when Audius broke the first level. It just basically went straight down, right? This time it broke the key level, which is at 78 cents. Now look, folks, I'm not telling you that there's something wrong with your altcoin. What I am telling you, and it sounds like a broken record, right, is that you better ask yourself, can I tolerate a much bigger down move through March and into May? In other words, do you want to be saying, oh, I should have got out of half of my position? Okay. All right, Spin, you have a good weekend too. I'm going to put in one more. I'm going to put in Flow. Somebody wants me to check Iota. Let's do that. Okay, so very tough call here in Iota. I'm not seeing it near or far away from any big points. Let's try one more thing. Okay, so there's really no read on Iota. Try Infinity. All right, now with a coin like this, it's pretty tough to draw just about anything because of how kind of destroyed it is. Yeah, I would say there's no real read on Affinity. Let me try one more thing. Nope. Yeah, no read on Affinity. I will have to look at it and get back to you on Monday. All right, folks. I am being beeped here. I got to go back to life at Token Metrics. Let's sum up. Let's go back to Bitcoin. Let's take a look at what's going on so we can have like a live market view right before we have to sign off. Okay. Okay, so here's our Bitcoin chart heading into sign off time. 39,400 is the level you got to watch for. If you get some sort of euphoric rally on Monday because nothing happens over the weekend, be careful of the failed rally. There's nothing more disastrous in bear markets in a failed rally. And guess what? If there's no failed rally on Monday, then maybe we can be bullish. But I'm not interested in hurrying to be bullish headed into March. Remember, inflation, the Fed, that's all coming in 2 weeks, right? And Mr. Putin may not be done. So be diversified, right? Be intelligent. Ask yourself, can I handle risk? If my portfolio fell 50% from here, can I handle it? Right? Isn't it better to basically go with a new up move? Like if Bitcoin's going to 49K, well, then it'll go above 39, make a return move, and then go. So having stable coins and having flexibility in your portfolio and flexibility in your mind is the most important thing. All right. MXDI, I appreciate the love, right? Folks, that's it for today. I'm your host, Bill Noble. I will see you on Monday.